I think you're right. In the recent years, gun violence has been coined, has become a public health issue. And obviously, in past years, we've had Rhode Island's health director coming in, everything like that. But you mentioned evidence-based. If it weren't for firearms, are you aware of the CDC literature dealing with, if it weren't for firearms, the number of victims that you would see as opposed to what you see now? So defensive use, have you looked at any of the defensive use statistics around firearms and the prevention that they afford to potential victims or victims of crime?
My knowledge of the data is that having a firearm in your home increases your odds of you or one of your loved ones by threefold compared to the odds of protecting someone in your household.
So, on the record at the Supreme Court, said firearms are used 2.5 million times per year for people to defend themselves. And a Center for Disease Control and Prevention report commissioned by President Barack Obama reviewed the literature surrounding firearms use and noted that studies that directly assess the effects of actual defensive use of guns have found consistently lower injury rates among gun-using crime victims compared with the victims who use other self-protective strategies. Again, you said evidence-based. This is, I can't do anything more than quote what our judicial system uses as statistics. And again, we can go back and forth, but the evidence shows having a firearm prevents you from being injured during a crime, and in this case, 2.5 million times. So again, the evidence shows 2.5 million times. I can't imagine how many more people you would see in your ER if it weren't for that defensive use of firearms.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing up the point. For any data to be meaningful, you need to have numerators and denominators. You're only presenting one side of that fraction. In my line of work, everything that we do comes with risks and benefits. There's no medicine that I can prescribe that comes 100% risk-free, but I have to make decisions based on what's in the best interest of my patients. I think that the abundance of evidence is overwhelmingly clear that gun violence is a public health issue that is not compensated for the number of times that people use it to defend themselves in this country.
Well, again, we'll continue with the numerators and denominators. You're only using one side of the equation to two, in that you're only seeing the folks that are actually injured. You're not seeing the folks that aren't injured by firearms use. And again, we can go back and forth. I don't want to play tennis. So again, statistics can be used by both sides to prove their points. Regardless of what we are wearing, regardless of our jobs, there's statistics out there on both sides.
I just want to make a point that I actually do see the people who aren't injured by firearms. I do see people who are suicidal who come to our ER for help before they turn to things like gun violence. So I'm not sure if I misunderstood the question, but I do see people beyond just people who come in with firearm violence.